So let's kind of get into now the injuries.
Yeah.
I know you have a lot to share about this. And it's not only just the injury itself, but I think the learning process and the recovery to get back to the level that you performed at, right? So talk about that a little bit. When did the injury start?
So the injury started freshman year of high school when I was still playing soccer. It wasn't even a game. It was like an inter squad scrimmage, and I went up for a ball. Inside of the box, your legs kind of get tangled up, and my body kind of tilted sideways, and then my upper arm landed on somebody's leg, and then it popped out. And so immediately I'm kind of like, okay, this is not good. Yeah. My shoulder should look round, but it looks flat. Yeah. So that was the first injury. I didn't play baseball my freshman year.
Got it.
And then sophomore year was good, junior was good, senior was good, and then summer after my senior year, where I'm supposed to go and play summer baseball before UH on the mainland, I had kind of told my coaches, kind of tired from my senior year. In actuality, I just wanted to hang out with my friends. Stayed home, and I just ended up playing like American Legion baseball. Like a bunch of my friends were playing. I wasn't supposed to be pitching. I still was like thinking, well, I'm not going to hit in college, so this is where I can get this out of my system. And so hit a ball, pretty good ball off the fence. I rounds first, running into second, slide into second base, and I reach back for the base. Same thing, shoulder popped out.
Got it.
2 weeks before I'm supposed to start at UH.
Oh, no.
And so coaches find out fairly quickly what was happening. They were awesome about it. They didn't give me any sort of grief. I'm 18 years old and I'm already beating myself up. I'm like, what are you doing, stupid?
Yeah.
But they said, we're going to automatically redshirt you your freshman year just so you can get right, which is exactly what they did. That entire year was basically rehab and, all that. And then summer after freshman year of college was the last time I ever threw a ball 94 miles an hour.
That's crazy.
And shoulder popped out. That was the only time the shoulder popped out actually throwing. And then that's when it was kind of one of those decisions where it's like, well, it finally came out throwing, so we have to fix this.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, my coaches, and I was in California at the time. I flew down to LA, went to Curl and Job, and got my shoulder looked at by Dr. Louis Yoakum. Okay. And 3 weeks later, I'm on the OR. I'm in the OR. Yeah. And so he went in there and he fixed I had a Bankart repair, which it's just chronic dislocators to tighten up that joint. And then they had to fix my labrum and then bicep tendon. So
got it. There's so many things. Mess. Yeah, there's so many things we can dive into here. So that first time, I don't know how much you remember, but how long did it? Like, did it just go back in by itself?
No, it was not a sublux. It was a full dislocation, anterior dislocation.
Who relocated it, or did you have to go?
Went to the ER.
Okay, so they relocated.
And I had great athletic trainers at Midpack. They were like, no, we're not gonna do anything. We're gonna call the ambulance. Sure enough, get to the ER at Queens and then right back in. So maybe 2.5 hours. Got it. Okay. The last 2 times it subluxed. It kind of came out for 5-10 seconds and then kind of just jostled my arm a little bit.
And then it popped back in.
Yeah, and then the last time I thought it was like Lethal Weapon. I don't know if you remember that movie, but like the last time shoulder was out and grabbed my glove and kind of did one of these against the fence and then went back in.
Yeah. So I mean, the laxity by that point,
was bad.
But so I didn't realize that you did not surgically repair it until after that third time. So you went through a lot of rehab just to create that shoulder stability. Not only to create shoulder stability just for like working out, it's creating shoulder stability to throw a ball because this is your throwing side.
And like the last time, dude, like I'm telling you, the last time it came out, like it would pop out, like it would sublux when I'd sneeze.
Oh, that is crazy.
It's just like, and I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah.
So,
but it's interesting that you say that because going off on a little tangent, but that shows how much dynamic stability you need to throw a ball. Because if you could just come out like that when your muscles are turned off, and it doesn't come out when you're throwing like a 90 mile per hour fastball, that's how important it is for all these throwers to take care of those muscles because that is what's stabilizing your shoulder. Otherwise, it's going all into your shoulder joint, your labrum, and all of these things, right?
Yeah, it's just like constant distraction on the joint, and then and then just like for me, like as a player, like I didn't want to know, like everybody would be like, what's going on with my arm? And I'd be like, well, it's probably because your bicep tendon is flaring up because your rotator cuff is like, I don't want to like have to, like, I didn't want to be that guy to like have to know that stuff. Like, I didn't want to be that guy to like, oh, for you to throw a ball, it's because you need scapular rhythm.
That's true.
Right? It's like, the only reason why I know that stuff is because I got hurt.
Exactly. Exactly.
But again, that's, kind of good and bad because that's kind of what sparked my interest in shoulder stuff and
what you're doing today.
Yep.
So when you think about it too, how much discomfort or pain would come on? Were you throwing through? Did you have to deal with, or was it more like, no, as long as I did what I needed to do, I could?
Pre-surgery, I mean, like, dude, like pre-surgery, I was one of those guys that after I throw some ice, good.
Okay.
But after surgery, I mean, like, it's just foam rolling. Doing e-stim stuff, doing I think when I was at UH, that's when kind of the ARP stuff would kind of be introduced. I was like, this is sore, I don't like this.
It definitely is sore.
But after surgery though, I definitely had to be diligent with recovery stuff.
So were there many times that you were throwing through pain, or was it manageable? Like adrenaline and everything, it was like, nah, this is not.
After surgery, I think. I think after surgery, I'd say like after month 20, that's when I could kind of feel regular DOMs after I pitch.
Okay.
I think prior to that, and I think the first year to 18 months was kind of that me trying to figure out, like, because some days it'd feel great. Yeah, I'd throw, do my long toss, do all of my stuff that I need to do that day, it'd feel great, and then I would do the exact same thing the next day, and then I feel awful. And so a lot of it came down to like, okay, looking at all the variables and trying to figure out, and piece by piece, what is causing irritation.
Yeah.
And then, once it's irritated, how do we mitigate that irritation?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, for me, it ended up being a very technical adjustment to my delivery to like why my arm felt the way it felt. So making some adjustments to maybe not even something necessarily with my arm, maybe how I bear my weight on the ground. Take some brunt off of the shoulder, yada, yada, yada.
So this is after college, right?
Well, this is during college, because during college...
what years were this?
So I had surgery in 2005. I didn't play.
That's right.
So my first year at UH was fall 2004, like you. I didn't get into a game until spring 2007.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense now.
Yeah.